this week, Big Ten championship, obviously a big deal, but you didn't have the Michigan game last week. You haven't had the normal year you guys have gone through. Does it have the same feeling of playing for a Big Ten championship as in other years when things are more traditional?
It's definitely not traditional, like you said, but the whole motto of this year is just be versatile and be prepared for anything because anything can happen. And it's not like it's our first week playing off of a game that got canceled. We kind of got our schedule worked out earlier in the year, so we kind of been doing the same schedule for the third time now. So, I mean, earlier when this whole thing just opened up with COVID, we just wanted to play for a Big Ten championship. That's why everybody came back. And now we're here. So, I mean, we prepared for it the same as we would prepare for any other game. And now we're just playing for the big ring.
All righty, we'll go next to Jacob Benji from the Lantern.
Yeah, hey, Jeremy. Last year in the Big Ten title game, you kind of made that Jumpman-esque catch. I'm curious how often you look back at that and how important playing in Lucas Oil is for you.
It was obviously a special moment, and just grateful to be in that moment. But I mean, I don't really look back at it that much. A lot of people talk to me about it and reminisce about it with me. So I feel like the only time I really talk about it is when someone talks about it to me. But you know, it's a new year. I don't really like talking about what happened in years past. And anytime you get to go up there in Indy and play, it's special for this program, and we make it special. So I mean, that's our focus every year is to get to Indy, and we're here now. So anytime you get the chance to make a play, hopefully you'll be able to do that. And same goes for this year.
Yeah, for sure. So like the last couple of weeks, you know, just being involved in the passing game and serving as protection up front, how important has that been in practice? And, you know, just your thoughts on helping out with that offensive line recently.
Just goes to show how much of a great teammate our unit is and how much we care about this team, because we'll just do whatever the coach asks us to do each week. And just goes back to the summer and the spring. You know, we've been kind of a group the team can rely on with the workouts and everything. We've been trying to just be the best leaders we can, the best teammates we can be. And I think you see that on the field because we can I think we're very well-rounded as a unit, and we pretty much do whatever they ask us to do. So, like you said, the last couple of weeks, it was more in the protection game, and I feel like we did a pretty good job of that, especially with the young offensive line.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go next to Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Jimmy, I did have one other question about the catch from last year, but just in terms of, did that moment open your eyes at all to what was possible for yourself as a receiver? Did it make you give you kind of maybe a new perspective on what you were capable of on the field?
I mean, I'm very confident in my abilities, so I feel like I've always been capable of doing that, and I knew I had it in me. It's just being in the right position to do so. And you know, like I said before, we're willing to do anything for this team and just be ready for any position we need to be in to make a play. And that's kind of how I've been trying to deal with this year, whenever I get the opportunity to make a play, just trying to do that. And I feel like that's kind of how I was at last year, and luckily it worked out.
All right, next up, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Jeremy. It seems like every year it's a little bit of the same story with the tight ends, but this year, obviously, you haven't played a lot of games and don't have a lot of catches, but I don't know that there's been a unit that's been praised as much as you guys have as consistently as the tight ends group. How well do you think you guys are playing, and how much do you feel kind of that love from the rest of the team?
I mean, we definitely feel it from our coaches and the rest of the team. They kind of always talk about how we just do whatever it takes and how we got to play in all aspects of the game. It really takes a long time to develop into the players we are. And as you can see, we have such an older unit to where they can rely on us to do all those things. We don't have to sub out and do different packages for different jobs. I feel like all the guys that we got are really well-rounded and able to do it all. And I think that just shows that the coaches are confident in us. And like I said earlier, when you have some issues, as like with the young offensive line in there, being able to step in there and help them out, give them confidence, I think is just huge. And just being there to rely on for the players and the coaches.
And kind of along those lines, Luke Farrell has been just kind of quietly very, very solid his entire career. You know, he just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. What would you want to say about his career?
I mean, if I didn't have Luke as a teammate, I wouldn't be playing as much as I am. I wouldn't be as good of a player as I am. I'd be very one-dimensional, and I just can't say enough about how much he's meant to me in my career and how much he means to this team. Pretty much every touchdown I've caught or every play I've made, it's because he's either blocking for me or he's setting up the route and kind of grab a guy so I can be open. So I mean, he's one of the most unselfish guys I've ever been around. And that kind of attitude spreads throughout our unit and our room. He's really just he leads us to just do whatever it takes for the team to win. And as you said, he just does everything he can at the highest level and doesn't really say much about it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, we'll go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Jeremy. I'm curious, if you being a guy, you're in your junior year, you might have an NFL decision to consider after the season. Does it influence that at all when you've had such a short season and you don't get things like getting to play in the Michigan game this year?
I mean, I haven't really put much thought into any of that during the season. I mean, we worked so hard just to get this season to be a thing. So, I mean, we're not really guaranteed anything. All we know is we're guaranteed today. And, you know, I just try and put all my focus on each day and stack those days up. And, I mean, I'm going to, like you said, there could be a decision, there could not be a decision to make, but all we're really focused on right now is staying healthy and keeping a good positive mindset going into each day and stacking those days up.
Do you see like a different level of motivation going into each game now that you guys haven't gotten to play as many as you usually would?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, our coaches, Coach Day and Coach Wilson in our unit, we've just been big on, we're not guaranteed anything. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. Like I said, we're just guaranteed what we have each and every day. If we pass that test in that morning, then we got that day. And you got to just make the most of it. And you don't know, like I said, you don't know what's coming tomorrow. You don't know what's coming 3 days from now, this weekend, next weekend. All you know is you pass that test, you get the day, and just make the most of it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Already next up, Clay Hall, WSYX.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you get the dub and 6 wins, is that good enough case to get in the playoff?
I mean, again, we haven't really been focusing on that. There's a lot of talk around that and on TV and everything like that. We've been kind of just trying to stay away from that. We listen to all the noise. We hear all the noise. We just try and put the best game we can, put the best play we can on film and just let them decide based off of that. So I'd say our only motivation is to trying to put the best game on film and just show them that we're one of the top teams and we'll let them make a decision based off what they think is right. And we can only control what we can control. And that's playing against Northwestern and trying to.
You bet. Coach Day always says he holds his breath with regard to testing. Is that the way it is for players too? Like, okay, we got through another day.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, I live alone. A bunch of the guys live with their roommates and everything. And you try and just not put yourself in a situation where you're exposed to someone. Every coach says just treat it like everybody you see has it and try and stay away from them as much as possible, stay inside as much as possible, always wear the mask. And when you go test in the morning, you got that 15-minute window where it could come back, it could not come back, and you're just hoping that you survived another day and then you get to play that day and then just wait for the next one tomorrow.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now and SI.
Hey, Jeremy, actually kind of following up on a couple of questions from both Dan and Clay there. Most recently, Clay's question about holding your breath. The Pac-12 and the Big 12 have contingency plans. In fact, the Pac-12 has already, put in a second team with Washington not able to play in their conference title. And the Big 12 said if Oklahoma or Iowa State can't go, then Texas would go. The Big 10 says if Ohio State or if Northwestern can't play for any reason, then the championship game is a no contest. Do you guys talk about that, even if it's just kind of amongst yourselves? I mean, is that sort of like further reinforcement of, hey, we got to make sure we stay, healthy this week because there is no contingency plan if things go wrong?
To be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing until you just said it. But I mean, we know how big of a deal it is. We've been there past 3 years and we have a chance to go get 4, and we just know how big of a deal it is to bring home that championship, and that's everything we play for. So I think now that you said that, that's another reason, but basically just treating it as a championship, which it is, and that's the biggest, most important thing that we do as Ohio State Buckeyes, win championships, and we're just trying to put another banner up on that wall and do anything we can to do so. So, I mean, it's a huge deal for us, and we're going to treat it like that.
Yeah, fair enough. The other thing Dan had asked you a little bit about the potential NFL decision you might have to consider. I wanted to ask you a bit about your recruiting process, because I had read recently that it's kind of a misconception when guys are going through recruiting that they're infatuated with the history and tradition of a program, and that it's a lot more about who the coaches are there now and how they can help you achieve your goals of maybe getting to the next level or what you want to attain at that school. National Signing Day is tomorrow. So I'm interested if you can reflect a little bit about your recruitment process and how what you hoped your experience at Ohio State would be like, how that's played out for you, so far.
Yeah, I mean, just going through the process, I definitely expanded all my options and visited everywhere. When I was younger, I visited all the SEC schools, visited all the Big Ten, some Pac-12 I talked to. I pretty much got a mix and a feel of pretty much every school, and everywhere I went, I was just comparing it to here. So, I mean, I kind of just fell in love with the culture here, fell in love with the brotherhood. Like you say, it's real. You can feel it. And, it's important to think about your self goals and what you want to be. And for me, it was obviously you want to catch a lot of balls. And I feel like that was one of my strengths coming out, but I wanted to become a complete player. And I think there was no better place to do that than come here. The culture, you're really just working every day at becoming a complete tight end at Ohio State. And, you can go to other places and catch your balls and split out wide and everything. But I feel like coming here was a great decision for me and developing into a tough all-around tight end. And I'm trying to keep getting better every day.
Already got time for two more. We'll go first to Mitch Stacy, Associated.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for spending time with us today. Given how you got into the championship game with the vote of the administrators, how much do you guys feel like you have something to prove to everyone on the field Saturday?
It's pretty important, like you guys said before about the top four. I mean, we try not to think about it as much, but what it comes down to is every other school has more games than us and we don't. So every game that we have is looked under a microscope, and, we try and just put the best game out there on film and really just dominate and execute every play, because that's what they're watching. They're watching every play. They watch how you win. They watch who you play against, each guy individually. And, we're trying to just put the best game on film that we can and just dominate and execute each play.
Thanks.
All righty, we'll wrap up, Jeremy, with Tim May, Letterman Row.
Thank you very much. Jeremy, as you've studied this team, as you guys have gone along through this 2020 year, not just season, besides Luke Farrell, your good buddy, who has just impressed you from a player standpoint as a leader on this team, maybe someone who stepped up as the year went on and the disappointments came from left and right, et cetera. Yet here you guys are playing for a Big Ten championship and possible Final Four berth. Who's just impressed you as stepping up?
I mean, I don't know if he's stepped up. He's always been a leader, but as far as on the offensive side of the ball, you didn't really hear much of Coop until this year. He's really stepped into that role of being like the team's leader.
Yeah.
You got the Blocko jersey and everything like that, and he's just been vocal with the whole team, not just the defense. And you really feel his energy. You feel how much passion he has for this team and for his city, because it's where he's from, and how important it is to him. So you kind of just feel that energy and you want to rally behind the guy. And, all he's given to this program and all the years he's been here, he just poured so much blood, sweat, and tears here. You kind of feel his energy. So I'd say he's probably one of the guys from an offensive side of the ball where you hear him when he's on defense and you feel his energy.
You talked a while ago about just the attraction of this program when you were being recruited, but now that you're into it deep, has it gotten stronger over the last couple of years? I mean, just give me from the inside out what it has felt like.
I feel like once I started to get on the field and play more, I played a little bit as a freshman, played more in the last year, and I'm playing a lot this year. I mean, as you play more, you really feel what it feels like to be out there and be with your brother, leaning on them, them leaning on you. And I feel like it's definitely grown a lot since I've been here. I love each and every guy on this team and would do anything for them. So definitely after the experience on the field and the experience off the field in the weight room and the workouts and everything, it just builds stronger and stronger every day you're here. And that's why you feel those guys like Justin Hilliard, Luke, Coop, and all those guys. You feel how much they've put into this program, and as you get older, you start to appreciate that even more.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click on that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing, and come visit us over at BuckeyeGrove.com for all the best Ohio State information on the web.